I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about signs your ex isn't over you even though they're in a new relationship. You know, years ago I used to think that if somebody got into a relationship after me, that was it. That was going to be the person they wound up marrying. They were going to be with that person forever. They were going to forget about me and they were just going to move on. But that was many, many years ago, and I have seen a lot of information that contradicts that along the way. Okay? Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you know when our newest videos are coming out. I never ask you guys to do that, but it's great. That way you get a notification and you know when the newest video is out that can help you. So I wanted to talk about this today because I've seen so many people recently that had their ex start dating somebody else after the relationship, and then their ex is still lingering around doing a lot of different things. So I'm going to talk about some of these signs today that I think are kind of obvious that somebody's not over you. Okay, so one of the ones that I see often is that they don't tell you about this new person. They want to keep it a secret. Why? If they don't want to be with you anymore, why do they want to keep it a secret? Well, sometimes it's because they're not so sure about this new person. They don't think it's going to go well, and they're afraid of upsetting you. They're afraid that you won't take them back if you find out they've moved on. And believe it or not, I see a lot of people say, wait, why would they be upset at that? Why are they scared about that? They broke up with me. Well, people can make a decision, and in that moment, they think it's the right decision. But as time goes by or things happen, they realize it may not have been the best thing to do. So they're trying to minimize turning you off further. Believe it or not, in many cases, they don't want to upset you. They don't want this new person to be known about. So, you know, I know some people are like, oh, they just want to do what they want to do. And yes, that happens too. But there are a lot of cases where it's because they're not wanting to upset the person they've broken up with, okay? Another thing that they do is they'll discredit the new relationship. You say, oh, you dating anybody? No, I'm not dating anyone. Well, what, you know, I heard you're hanging out with this person, and I'm not telling you should bring this up, but I've had people say things like, oh, my friends told me you saw it, or I saw this post on social media, and you bring it up, and then they're like, oh, it's just somebody that I'm hanging out with. We're not dating. We're not exclusive. We're not, you know, anything. They'll try and get the label gone, make it seem like it's not very much, or there's nothing significant going on there. Now, like I said, sometimes a big reason they do that is because they're not sure about this new person. Think it's going to go great and amazing, and then it goes sideways. But, you know, they had a strong bond with you. In many cases, they were with you for many years. And this is some person they barely know. So they don't want to be so quick to say, oh, I'm with this new person, when they've been in this long-term, meaningful relationship with you. So that's a sign that they're not over you. Discrediting them, making them seem like they're not very important to them. Even if they are really excited about this new person right now, which does happen, it doesn't mean that they don't still have feelings for you, okay? Another big one that I see is social media. If you think about how our lives have changed just in the last, 15 years, social media is such a big part of our life now. And there are so many different apps. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, those are the major ones. WhatsApp. I mean, and I'm sure there are plenty of others in different parts of the world. WeChat. So they continue to look and see what you're doing, even if they're in a new relationship. Why? Does that make any sense? If they're really happy, why are they wondering what you are doing? Because they're not really over you. They're not really over the relationship. You guys have had some long, meaningful connection. You can't just turn that off. Even if they try to, particularly around the breakup, and they act like they don't care, or they act cold like a different person, that's just part of the process. But they're looking, okay? I have somebody that has a blog, and she knows for a fact that he keeps checking the blog 3 times a day, 4 times a day, sometimes when she puts a post. Then he'll check it 3 times, 4 times in a week. You don't really do that if you're not over somebody, right? You don't keep looking. Okay, so watching your stories is a big one. Believe it or not, I see this one often. Showing up in places that they know you're gonna be. Now, sometimes it's like a gym, but they start to go at a time where they know you're gonna be there, or they go to, a place near your work, or a place like that you're a regular at. They show up places you will go because they're not really over things. Okay, you think they are, you think they're happy with this new person, yet here they are, coming over to talk to you at the gym, or staring at you when you're walking by, or looking and then looking away and pretending like they didn't really see you, right? All kinds of unusual behaviors. All right, here's another one. See this a lot too. Contacting your friends and family. Now, why would you do that if you were truly over somebody? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You don't contact friends and family over somebody that you really are over and have thought, it's never going to work out, I have to move on, I don't care about this person anymore. You do it because you want to know what's going on in their life, because you care. So that's another big sign that even if they're dating somebody else, they're still not over you. Okay. Now this one I have seen quite a few times in some recent calls. You see your ex getting emotional about things. They can't control their emotions. They're still upset at you about something that happened in the relationship, or an issue, an ongoing issue that you've had in the relationship. I see that. They're still upset, bothered, thinking about how could we get back together with this issue that hasn't been resolved. Well, why would you do that if you're really over somebody? I have a client right now that her ex was constantly reaching out and saying things like, I miss you, I want to see you. And my client was an avoidant. So they weren't used to these situations and didn't know how to navigate. And they've been working really hard on the workbooks to really get themselves centered to be a better communicator. And things are actually turning around in that situation, and it's looking pretty good. But the ex keeps reaching out, and they had somebody else. And so they're like, well, I don't understand. Why do they keep reaching out? And I'm like, they still care about you. Keep doing the work. It's going to pay off. Keep doing those workbooks. It's going to pay off, because if you can't control your emotions, that's very telling that something's important to you. Something's meaningful to you. You're not going to get upset about something small, right? You're not going to get upset because an ant across the street got run over by a car, right? You're not, you know what I'm saying? But you're going to get upset by things that are important to you. So when you see your ex getting upset about things and they can't control your emotions, that's a good sign that they still care, even if there is somebody else. Another one, and this is kind of along the same line of being upset. If they're posting things like they're upset about on social media, things that are alluding to you, you know they're obvious digs towards you. I had a guy recently that his ex was posting TikToks that were certainly alluding to him and insulting him and acting like she was all upset about things that he did, and quite frankly, blowing a lot of things out of proportion, which I think were to upset him and maybe provoke him, but he didn't reach out. And so if you have an ex that's doing stuff like that, posting emotional things on social media, It's telling that they're still bothered by things, that they still care about things, but don't use that as an excuse to reach out. Don't let that provoke you, okay? I don't want you to do that. Okay, here's an interesting one. Sometimes you'll hear your ex, literally to you, compare the new person to you. Well, this person does this for me, and you would have never done that for me. And this person is doing this thing for me. And I thought to myself, boy, you would have never done that for me. And now, and they start telling you these things. Why are they doing that? Because they're still invested. They still care. Now, part of it may be to hurt you, get back at you. You hurt me over this thing, and now this new person doesn't hurt me over this thing. Well, the new person's going to hurt you over other things. Don't tell them that, but it's going to happen because nobody's perfect. And so even if they find somebody new, it doesn't mean that that relationship is going to be perfect and amazing. It often isn't. So if you hear your ex comparing you to this new person, it tells you they're not really over you. And I had this actually recently too. The new person even looks like you. I had this several times recently come up. They're like, this new person looks just like me. They do similar things to me. They have similar interests. What does that tell you? It tells you that they're still thinking about you, even if it's on a deep unconscious level. They're not over you. All right, this might be the most obvious one, but I have to say it. They're contacting you. If your ex is contacting you, doesn't matter what it's about, unless it's you can, without a doubt, say this is business related only. They're looking for an excuse to connect with you. They're making a bid to be close to you, to feel your presence, because they miss you, right? And I often see the indirect, direct approaches, you know, car keys, I missed the cat, have you seen my, whatever it is. All excuses for unimportant things, but they disguise it really well. So, if you have an ex contacting you, that's a good sign that they still are interested in you and they still care about you. Now, sometimes they'll even say to you, well, I'm so happy now, and I'm so happy with this new person, and I want you to be happy, and I want you to find somebody else that's so great. Well, is it meaningful, or is it authentic, or is it over the top? Who are they trying to say this to? Are they trying to make themselves believe it? Because a lot of times it seems like they're trying to make themselves believe it. If it's not like an authentic, you know, I really want you to be happy, I'm so sorry things didn't work out, that might feel more authentic. But it's like when they're going on about this new person, they're trying to rub it in your face a little bit, it's because they're not over you. Okay? Because you don't do these things if you're truly happy in your new relationship. There's no reason to. So these are just some of the signs that I saw, and I wanted to share them with you. If you have any more, leave them in the comment section. Share your experiences and let us know. I'm sure there's some that I missed, but these are the ones that stood out to me that I wanted to share with you. So hopefully you found this one helpful. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.